To become a better leader of tomorrow in just a short amount of time, subscribe to our Raj Shamani Clips channel.
Okay, tell me about it's an interesting question. How do you think that AI will disrupt your business, or AI will be used in telecom industry or the industry that you're in?
Yeah, I think AI will disrupt every business.
How will it disrupt? This is one of my favorite questions these days that I'm asking almost everybody. How is AI changing your life, or is going to change your life, or has changed your life in some way? Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, I think it will have significant impact, I feel. I think in general, AI, and this is all relevant for us as well, but in general also, I have been thinking about this. In general, I think companies will get much more leaner in terms of personnel. Like what you can do with 300 people today,
okay,
right? Versus what you can do with 300 people in 2 years with AI is going to be, again, AI is going to be a biggest exponential hire.
Yeah.
Right? So you can actually do 10x more with AI. Right? So whatever, Mike and I have been chatting about this on can we, 5x our revenue by incrementally just increasing in team size, right? Using AI. So I think is going to happen. Most companies who have overhired will struggle because they will, get disrupted by smaller companies who can use AI and be more efficient. So I think that's one piece that will change the game. I also think, AI will bring in a lot of, especially in there are so many things we don't do in customer engagement, right? So on the positive side, there are, I like to call this the EV moment, like how Tesla came into the cars and the EV industry and sort of disrupted the ICE makers, right? For us, it's the EV moment in AI. So we are also launching a lot of new products. And when we launch those new products, but our philosophy in new products is don't go create the market, right? Because we are not VC funded, or we are, but like we are profitable, we operate like that, right? So we don't want to go create markets. We want to be going into established large markets. And when you do that, how do you then still get market share and grow? The only way to do that is you pick a niche and go deep, right? To differentiate. Otherwise, you'll be a me too, right? So you pick a niche and go deep. And when you do that, how do you find your EV moment? So that's how you think about it, right? So when you have existing markets that have existed for 30, 40 years, we are thinking constantly on how do I find my EV moment where I can not have the baggage of everything that's been done in that industry for 30, 40 years and use AI to disrupt that, right? You'll still have to create, those metaphorically the tires and the steering for a car, like how Tesla did. So we'll have to still build, some basic stuff, but we need to figure out what's our EV moment and disrupt that. So that's, I think, the second thing we think about from an AI perspective. And I think third, I'm not sure how relevant this will be for us, but I feel like it'll change VC funding dramatically. So VCs, a lot of money in the VC industry goes toward late stage companies today, right? Funding large companies and large folks. I think a lot of, so large ticket size investments, if that's the right way to put it, a SoftBank or what have you, right? I think in some B2C areas, you will still need to fund large ticket sizes because it's capital intensive. Okay. But I think a lot of areas, like a lot of VC models will evolve to funding leaner and smaller teams, but lots of them. So like how Y Combinator does their investment thesis, a lot of VCs will move to that model because they'll realize with a 5 people team, you can do a lot of things from a disruption standpoint. So their capital will start getting allocated in that model.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think gone are the days where big SoftBank, Tiger Global things were happening?
It may still happen from a B2C where you need like just pure capital to create a market. But I think most other models, most other models like in the States, I think SoftBank also messed up a lot of, just got putting too much money in. Right now, where it's become a sort of a stigma saying if a SoftBank funded, I don't want to come join you or I don't want to touch you. Large chance of blowing up. Right? Almost every SoftBank company is blowing up.
Yeah.
Because the SoftBank model, you have to understand their model, right? I think the thesis is different. You've raised so much capital. If you don't deploy it, how do you show the ROI? Right? So then your ticket size, so they dramatically inflated the ticket size in the market. SoftBank.
But then if you're an exceptional founder, right, and if you're building an exceptional product or a company, right, or a brand, that gives you so much opportunity to become the world leader, become absolute category leader and destroy it. Like what, let's say, imagine if Jio was a startup funded by SoftBank, they would have done exceptionally well. Like
there's not data to prove that though. Like if you go back and check most of the SoftBank startups, I think almost all of these startups that have not worked out, right? It's always been...
Wasn't SoftBank, Facebook was backed by SoftBank?
Facebook, I am not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Who backed Facebook?
Facebook was Peter Thiel and...
No, the big guys. I think there was SoftBank or something. I don't know.
I am not sure.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'm not sure as
well. So let's say there's no SoftBank big company who have done Alibaba, for example.
No, I mean, but look at, okay, there are some successful ones, but look at the number of ones that have not been successful. Right?
But that's how the VC model works, right? Like you bet on 10 people.
But most times if you look at the data, SoftBank created a market or industry where if a founder needed $100 million, they would come and say, you know, what's your vision? I mean, that's why they call it the vision fund. What's your larger vision? We want to put 500 million. So more than the need when the money comes in, then your business plan has to change. Because then how do you justify that sort of fundraise? So you need to grow faster, then the business plan changes. So you're trying to artificially induce a lot of things which don't need to be done. Right? So
the WeWork story.
Yeah, so that and not a lot of those stories, right? Not just the WeWork story. A lot of those stories have happened. So I think something of that sort has happened in the industry with the SoftBank investment thesis. And I feel like that will change now with AI. With now VC saying, okay, I want to invest capital efficiently, but like many more companies. So if you have, let's say my average ticket size was 25-30 million. Now I want to do like 5 million, but in 10 companies or 8 companies. Like that's how they will start thinking with AI.
Interesting take. Let's just see that. I'm excited to see both.
Yeah.
I really am optimistic that one day there'll be some founder who will come with large chunk of capital and absolutely dominate the market in just a decade and like become an absolute leader. Like what Jio did, I wanna see that happening. What Unilever did.
But no startup has done that actually. If you said Facebook. Facebook didn't raise a bunch of like large amount of capital.
They didn't.
That's what I'm saying, right? So I mean, even Google did not raise a large amount of money. So if you look at startups, most successful startups, or almost all of them, the ones that have gone to do well have raised enough capital, not too much capital.
And then they keep raising top up.
Yeah, but that's not like meaningfully not large enough, right? The numbers.
No, they keep topping up after they hit a certain milestone instead of saying like, hey, this is the plan for next 20 years and I want all money today.
Yeah. So I think I'm not sure if a startup operated like Jio would have done that well if they raised so much money. I'm not sure.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm just excited to see something like that happening because that's what happens in conglomerates. Right. Conglomerates, they go and decide that, hey, now for next 20 years, we want to own India. Right? That's what they talk about, right? I was listening to this conversation by a P&G guy, A.G. Lafley, I guess. He wrote a book called Playing to Win. And he was talking about it, that P&G Global, US headquarters, they decide that Middle East, India, China, like this is the market, like the Eastern market is growing up. Okay. The biggest pie they're going to get in Philippines and India. That's where their thought was, because China obviously closed borders and stuff like that. No other country was big enough for consumption pattern. And these were moisture countries anyway, where there is more humidity and moisture, more consumption of consumer goods happens, right? Tropical countries. So more consumer goods happen, like the detergent will sell more, the soap will sell more, the hair growth will be more, all of that will happen, right?
Sure.
So I thought, ye do countries, what's our plan? Our plan is in next 25 years, we'll become leaders. First 16 years, they were just putting money. So P&G decides, first 16 years, I'm not going to make a punt, like I'm not even going to make point of profit, not even 1% of profit. What I want to do 16 years, I want to keep deploying. And I want to enter, like everything I launch is going to be number one in the country. So I go and be like, hey, the country has, let's say Surf Excel as the leader. Let me go blow up capital and make Tide as the leader, right?
Sure.
There's no product differentiation.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing, right? Then they're like, okay, I want to own the shaving market. Jo bhi local players hai hatao. I want to enter with Gillette and own the market.
Right.
So that's what they do. That's what Unilever does. That's what Reckitt Benckiser did, right? The Reckitt came up with Harpic. There's like, for next 20 years, we'll build a category and keep pumping the money.
Yeah.
So that's what large conglomerates have always been doing. I'm waiting for a startup to do this because they come up with large pool of capital and they have a 20-year, 30-year vision to own a country and become number one. Own a country is a wrong sentence to say. Let's say to get a significant pie in a country and become like a market market leader.
Sure. No, this is where I'm saying I don't think it's easy for a startup to do this, because the VC model doesn't work like that. Right? A VC model, like they need to return capital
In 4 years, in 5 years, in
5
10
is
years.
too aggressive, but let's say 10 years, right? 2 funds, 2 times of like
2 cycles, yeah.
2
8
cycles
years,
of the
yeah.
fund, right? Like so 8 to 10 years they have to return money. They cannot think 20-year plans, right? So that's the challenge there, which is why I said I think the companies that become independent out of VC model will be able to sort of create their brand and vision, right? So that dependency has to go out from the VC model, right? Like, but conglomerates can do that because they are thinking long term.
Thank you so much for watching this clip till the end. For more such amazing, insightful clips, please subscribe to our channel.